His brow knitted. Kiki didn't tell you? Kiki Ricci was a human woman who had been abducted and wound up in the cell with Craal and a handful of other prisoners who were also being experimented on. Craal had somehow associated her with his sister and protected her from the other prisoners who would have killed her. To this day, she still called him friend instead of Craal, since he was unable to speak his name. They remained very close friends. He, the brother she never had, and she, the sister who was the thread that kept him connected to his true self through the atrocities done to him. I wasn't jealous of their close relationship any more than Jirok, Kiki's mate, was. But I did wish he would tell me things first sometimes. She didn't get into details, no. He nodded and leaned back. The chair groaned under his weight. The metal parts of his body made him larger and heavier than most Hevian males, who were big to begin with. Craal was larger than even Wulfric's, who was the biggest of the original 5 Hevian officers on the cruiser. Jirok and I had discovered that the aliens who'd experimented on Craal had increased his muscle and bone mass to support the extra weight of his metal parts. "I was mangled from the crash," he said. "My arm and leg were already destroyed. It was a relief to know they hadn't just taken them." Jirok had suspected that Craal's limbs had not been replaced because of random amputation. There was bone trauma in other places of his body, as well as burn scarring that indicated an explosion of some kind. "Where did you crash?" He shrugged. "I was delivering some shipments to a moon in the Delog sector. I don't remember what, but it was something mundane, like harmless supplies, or I would have been trying to be secretive. I wasn't. Just coming down on an open pad. There was a wave of something." He shook his head. "A ground fluctuation. Nothing unusual, but it sent up a pulse at the wrong moment, and I lost control. I crashed on the pad. Others crashed too. In the ensuing chaos, some guards grabbed my body. I remember hearing someone talking about a payout, a delivery. I remember the exact phrase, that someone would pay a lot for one of these." "For a Hevian?" I asked. "That's what I presume," he replied, and inclined his head. There was something incredibly regal about Craal's movements, like a lion. His speech had drastically improved since we'd begun working on him, too. When the first blocks had been removed from his brain, his words had been halted and his speech basic. Now he spoke with articulate fluency. Craal was not only intelligent, but seemed educated. Who would pay credits for a Hevian male? I pondered aloud. "The UCP," he replied. "The group who is trying to eradicate my entire species for the Vistran lying beneath the surface of this planet. They tried to create a monster." His face darkened with anger. "And they did." "They did not." I didn't usually speak out so forcefully to my patients, but I felt strongly about this. Craal was not a monster. He was one of the most beautiful individuals I'd ever seen. "At least they didn't succeed in turning me against my own people." He ran his flesh hand through his hair, which fell softly over his forehead. "Axlos, Wulfrex, and Ryland found Kiki and me before that." I wasn't sure that would ever have happened. Craal's iron grip on his true, decent nature had defied the best efforts of his captors. What they had done to him was overwhelming and horrific.